We really are. So we want to get out to Savannah 11. She's in our weather impact truck right now in Dunwoody, where apparently some trees have come down on a power line. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we actually just stepped outside so that we can give you a better look. This is Dunwoody Club Drive. We're just north of downtown Dunwoody. This power outage right now is affecting about 640 customers. Power's been out for a couple hours now, it appears. And you can see it wasn't a big tree that took that line down, but we have been talking again and again about just how heavy ice is, and you can see that ice took down that tree right there and it collapsed on those power lines. So again, the folks out here without power, there are 3 different Georgia Power contracted vehicles right now. They're working on this outage. I checked the Georgia Power outage map and it says that their expected restoration of this outage is about 2 p.m. So we're coming up on that, but I don't know, they might have to push that back because it looks like that line is still pretty down. But, you know, obviously it's a good thing that these crews have been standing by. We know Georgia Power has contracted multiple different tree companies and power companies to come out and help, including from South Georgia and Florida. So it's good to see that they have been able to respond quickly. But this is just, you guys, another example of how quickly that ice can bring down even the smallest of trees and cause big power outages for folks in this neighborhood.
Especially when you get the ice on the power lines, as you pointed out, and our meteorologists have already pointed out, when you just get even a slither of ice on there, maybe an inch of ice, it can create hundreds of pounds of pressure on those power lines. And unfortunately, we got that second wave headed this way that could create even more problems.
And Savannah, we know that you are continuing to track the conditions out there and what you're seeing and learning about other trees down in power lines. And I see you're in the distance there, and I see that the tree behind you has a lot of ice there.
Yeah, I was just going to show you another example of how these trees are sagging under the weight of this ice. You know, not too thick, but we heard from EPD and environmental experts yesterday at the press conference at the Emergency Management Division that our foliage, our beautiful trees here in Georgia are not built for this kind of ice. So we've seen a lot of, I'm not an arborist, but we've seen a lot of these types of trees really sagging into the roadways. Luckily, this one is a bit off the roadways, but I mentioned in my last live shot how these have been kind of blocking the road in a lot of cases. So, you know, once the sun sets and it gets dark, a lot of these neighborhoods don't have, you know, good lighting. So these types of trees are sagging into the roadways and could definitely cause issues. So even though if you look on the ground, you're not seeing like a lot of ice accumulating on the pavement, that doesn't mean that the risk is gone.
Yeah, and we've also discussed throughout this coverage how we'll see it in some of those higher elevated areas like the trees, like the top of a vehicle before we may see some of that accumulation there on the ground. So Savannah, again, a very good depiction and illustration of what we've been talking about there. Thank you so much.